Hello guys, welcome back to another AMC Problem and Solution video. Today we have yet another question here, and as always, let's first start off by reading the question. So, there are exactly k positive integers b, with b being bigger than or equal to 5 and smaller than or equal to 2024, such that the base b integer, which is 2024 to the base of b, is divisible by 16, where 16 is going to be in base 10. So, what is the sum of the digits of k? Now we see here that 2024 and base b is going to be equal to 2b to the power 3 plus 2b plus 4, which then we can factor a 2 here to b to the power 3 plus b plus 2, and since this has to be divisible by 16, we know that this is going to be equal to 0 modulo 16. So in other words, we just converted this 2024 in base b to in terms of b and other integers in base 10. So now that we have this here, we can also just say that we can just remove the 2 and the 2 on both sides to receive that b to the power 3 plus b plus 2 is going to be equal to 0 modulo 8, or in other words, a multiple of 8. So now we need to do some casework here. So let's say, what if b is even? Now, if b is even in this case, we can see that b to the power 3 is obviously going to be 0 modulo 8. You can check this yourself, so you can plug in 2 to the power 3, 4 to the power 3, but it will be 0 modulo 8. So now we look at the other part, which is b plus 2. So now I know that b plus 2 has to also be equal to 0 modulo 8. And similarly enough, just move the 2 over, and you'll see that this has to be equal to b modulo negative 2, 8, or you can just say 6 mod 8. Now let's look at if b is odd. So if b is odd, what happens? Well, if b is odd, we're just going to let b be equal to, that's a b by the way, let b equal to 2a plus 1. So this is a format of an odd integer. It's an even plus 1. So now we're going to plug this in here. So this turns b to the power 3 plus b plus 2 into our new equation by plugging this in. Which is going to be equal to 8a cubed plus 12a squared plus 8a plus 4, and obviously we don't need to look at these 8a to the power 3 or 8a because they're obviously going to be 0 modulo 8. So now we can see that 12a squared plus 4 is going to be equal to 4. So we're going to factor out the 4, 3a squared plus 1, and this means that 3a squared 1 has to be equal to 0 modulo 2, because this is going to be equal to 0 modulo 8. And then you just factor out the 4 from both sides to receive that 3a squared plus 1 is going to have to be equal to 0 modulo 2. This means that in this scenario, I'll continue writing over here. This means that since 3a squared plus 1 is going to be equal to 0 modulo 2, this means that a has to be equal to 1, or a has to equal to 3 in modulo 2, or 8. And this means that b here, for example, is going to have to be equal to 3, or b here is going to have to be equal to 7. So in other words, we can see that b here is going to have to be equal to 3 or 7 modulo 8 in this scenario. So in other words, if b is odd here, we'll be able to see that b has 3 choices in comparison of mod 8, which is 3 or 7. So now we need to solve the total values of b and how many there are. Now we can see here that in, for example, a core kind of value of 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For example, here we're able to see that the 3rd, 7th, and 6th values. So where is it? Oh yeah, and the 6th values are going to be usable. So we can see that here in this group of 8, we have 3 here that works, 6 here and works, and 7 here works, which is 3 of them. And after that, you just repeat it with, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 16, and so on. So here we can see that k is going to be equal to the full value of 2024 divided by 8 times 3 minus 1. Now, you technically don't really need this full value here since 2024 is divisible by 8, but I'm still going to be adding it. And then you finally solve this. 758. Now, make sure you guys also minus 1 here, as according to this part in our question, we need b to be bigger than 5, and obviously b can't be equal to 3 because 3 is smaller than 5. And so we get the minus 1 at the end. So answer to this problem should be 7 plus 5 plus 8, which is going to be equal to 20. So the answer to this problem should be D, or 20. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any other way to solve this problem, please let me know down below in the comments, and thank you guys for listening. Bye!